Hi everyone. So I wanted to go through my expectations for the assignments for this whole distance learning thing, especially the worksheets that I've been posting. You probably have seen that I do post the answers to these. So in order for you to get full credit, I am going to need you to show more work. A lot of you do show your work, and that's great. And usually I'll give you, full credit, and I'll even comment, "Great job showing your work," or something like that. But if you haven't been getting full credit on your worksheets, it's because you haven't been showing enough work, okay? Now, again, I do post the answers, so there's really no excuse to not get the correct answer and then just upload your homework and not even ask me how to do a certain problem or just ask for help in general, because I am available for help. All right, so I'll go through that a little bit later, kind of the steps that you should be taking with your work in this class. Okay, so I just wanted to go through kind of a example problem with you guys, just kind of to show what I expect when you're doing these problems. So we have an elevator motor lifts 9 people to the height of the 6th floor of an office building, which is 20 meters above ground level at a constant speed in 7.6 seconds. If the average mass of each person in the elevator is 67 kilograms and the elevator itself is 500 kilograms, what is the power rating of the motor? So I've kind of underlined what I'm given in this problem, and then now what we're going to do is we're going to actually write down our givens. So the total mass here is going to be 9 people times 67 kilograms for each person. And then we also have, that's a plus, I know this is kind of weird. We also have that 500 kilogram mass of the actual elevator. So the total mass will end up being 9 times 67, and then I'm going to add 500, and I end up getting 1,103 kilograms for the total mass. I'm also given the displacement of the elevator is 20 meters upward. And then also the total time of the travel, the distance of travel is 7.6 seconds. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to draw a free body diagram. So here's my elevator right here. I have the force of gravity downward, and I have the force of the elevator motor upward. I'm getting fancy with all these colors. I'm just going to call this the force. Really, it's force of tension, but since we're talking about the elevator motor, I'll call it force of the motor. How about that? So we know that we're going at a constant velocity because it says constant speed right here, and we're traveling upwards, okay? So since it's a constant speed, we know that forces are balanced. That means that the force of the elevator motor will be equal to the force of gravity, which we know is mass times acceleration of gravity. So because of this, we're going to end up using this in our power equation. So our power equation is power is equal to work over time. Work equation is force times displacement times the cosine of theta, and then that is still divided by time in the power equation. Now we know here our displacement is upwards. Since our displacement is upwards and also our force of the elevator motor is upwards, the angle between those two is 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 for that angle. I'm also going to plug in mg for my force because I know that's what the force of the elevator motor is going to be equal to since we're moving at a constant velocity. So here I get power is equal to mass times acceleration of gravity times displacement times the cosine of theta divided by time. Plugging in numbers, we get mass, total mass is 1,103 kilograms times acceleration of gravity, 9.8 meters per second squared, times displacement, 20 meters, times the cosine of 0, which we know is just 1, divided by the time of 7.6 seconds. All right, so now we're going to plug all that into our calculator. 1,103 times 9.8 times 20 times cosine of 0, which is 1. And then I'm going to divide that by 7.6, and I end up getting 28,445.8 watts. All right, so there is my answer. Now, I want you to notice how I have written down my givens here. okay? I've drawn a free body diagram, I've written down my equation, and then I've plugged in numbers, and then I write down my answer, okay? So it's not just going from plugging in numbers to then writing down an answer. So I've seen some people kind of just plugging in numbers all over the place and writing down any answer and not checking their work. So please go through all of these steps. I promise you it'll be much easier to get the correct answer, okay? So this is kind of what I want to see on your homework. Now, of course, you don't have to be as meticulous as I am with like, you know, drawing your free body diagram. Sometimes you don't have to draw it, okay? But I do like to make a drawing every single time just because it kind of helps me keep track of everything. Now, I also wanted to talk about kind of the steps that you should be taking when you are doing your work for the week. So number one, you should be watching and taking notes on the lecture. So watch lecture and take notes. And then usually I'll have you guys upload those notes, or you'll be watching on Edpuzzle and answering questions or something like that. Number two, after that, you should be doing the activity. So this week we're doing that human work and power lab. And this will usually reinforce kind of what you learned in the lecture. So that usually comes after the lecture. I usually post it kind of in order of the steps that you should do the work in. And then number three is you should attempt the homework. And then also while you're working on this, then check your answers. Okay, I've posted the answers for a reason, all right? I want you guys to check your answers as you're doing the homework. I want you to make sure that you're getting the same answers that I'm getting, okay? To kind of let you know that you're doing it correctly. If you are not doing it correctly, then I am available. So if you need help, email me and or come to office hours. Okay, I've only had a few people coming to my office hours now, and having office hours to help you guys. I want to be there to help you. We went through, I think, a couple problems last time we had office hours, and so I'm there to answer your questions. I did move the office hours to Friday from noon to 1 p.m. So that way you guys can, have more time to sleep in and also have more time to kind of do your work and get your work done. Because I know that some people maybe didn't even attempt the worksheet by Wednesday. So I hope this helps. I want you guys to get full credit on all this stuff, okay? I want you guys to be able to show me what you're learning and to learn physics, even though we're doing this whole distance learning thing. This is not an easy subject to learn by yourself at home, okay? So I want to help you in every way that I can, and I want you guys to be able to help yourselves as well, okay? I hope this helped a little bit, and let me know if you have any questions, all right? Good luck on all your work this week, and I hope to see you guys in office hours on Friday. All right, I'll see you later.